Hey guys, Hannah Bell, family lawyer, here with a family law pro tip in light of the corona crazy, right guys? Like what is happening? Oh my God. My background may look a little bit different. I've converted this room in my house that's like a little bit bigger than a closet, but a little bit smaller than an office into an office and like, I guess, video studio, right? And probably a lot of what we'll be doing over the next few weeks are some videos. Like now's a good time to kind of talk and think. And my brain is swirling, like I'm sure everybody else's is. And one thing, like a pro tip, I guess it's family law, it's more just like professional pro tip kind of, is about work from home. Now, some lawyers, some professionals, this may be your first foray into working at home. So welcome to the rodeo. I, however, have worked from home for a very long time. So before I was even a lawyer and went to law school, I had a recruiting business. And back then I worked from home, and have sort of gotten into a groove with it. And some people are super made for it and some people are super not made for it. And either way, whichever side of the fence you're on during the corona crazy, you may not have a choice. So you better find a way to be made for it the best you can so that you can still have a job when this is all over, if that's a choice, right? I know it's hard and really crazy. But okay, some of my work from home tips. You need to act like this is a relatively regular work day. And look, it's not the same thing. You're not going to probably have your 5 a.m. wake up, go to the gym, all of that. I mean, maybe you're one of those like super early morning dedicated people, and that's super. That's not how I do it. I mean, I'm probably up a little later and wake up a little bit later because I don't have to do the like peanut butter and jelly sandwich hustle in the morning to get everybody out the door to school. But I wake up at a relatively early time, get up, have my coffee and my breakfast. Then I suggest, wake up early, get ready like you normally would. There's going to be, at least in the beginning, probably this temptation to just be like schlubby all around the house in like your most rattiest sweatshirt and pajama pants you've ever seen. And look, I get that. So maybe a few days do that for yourself, but generally speaking, you feel better about yourself if you kind of get up and do what you would normally do. So for guys, like maybe shave, put on a polo shirt or something. Ladies, for me, it's do makeup or like makeup light, right? Maybe I don't do the whole like mascara thing, but at least kind of get myself put together. And then I feel like, okay, Dave, I am ready to go. So you're waking up on time, get yourself ready. And then as best you can, and this is going to vary depending on how old your kids are, right? Try to set in some boundaries from the beginning of how this works. Now, I don't know if you could hear, as I'm saying this, somebody knocked on my door in my office, one of my children, probably a question about the Minecraft and the Xbox. But the best that you can, set up your work day as, hey, this is a protected space. Mom, dad, caregiver, whoever, we have to still make money to still be able to have a job and pay the bills and buy the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, okay? So this time needs to be as protected as possible. Now, easy enough for me to say, my kids are in 7th, 5th, and 4th. So that's pretty big in kid world. It's sort of like Lord of the Fliesy out there a little bit. Now, if your kids are smaller, this is very, very different. So like for those of us whose kids are relatively self-sufficient, this is easier. And for those of us with smaller kids, you're going to have to piecemeal a solution. As I understand it, what I'm reading, what I've seen, nannies are exempt and like babysitters are exempt as essential workers, I think. And that's ever evolving and changing, but maybe your nanny, if they're practicing stay at home, work safe at their house, they can still come to yours and provide some relief. You and your partner can have some sort of like a shift schedule, like maybe you get morning hours for 3 or 4, then you take the 3 or 4 break with the kid, and then you get 3 or 4 on the back end, and then they sort of shift. Sort of like when they're really little and you trade off feeding times, maybe something like that could work, right? So set up some boundaries, you and your partner together, come up with a schedule that can kind of work for you, and then still end at a reasonable day. Shut the door if you can on the office, or close the closet, or fold up the notebook, shut the laptop. At what time you would sort of normally stop. So, for me, that kind of depends on what my kids are doing and if they're going to their dad's or whatever. But 5:36, 6:37, whatever that looks like for you that you normally would, shut it. And me and my husband joke, who now we're like, hey, I'll meet you in the break room and we can start dinner, right? And we shut it off. And unless I have something I need to get back to, or your schedule requires that for you to, in your kind of shift, to go back to it, I sort of stop for the evening. And having that sort of bookend to your day, getting ready for, to feel decent about yourself. And look, just in case you need to hop on a Zoom, like, I mean, good God almighty, I wish I owned Zoom stock in all of this. Everybody's talking about Zoom this, Zoom that, or Google Hangouts or whatever, you're using. What if your boss is like, hey, let's do a FaceTime call, let's do a Zoom. And you're like, what? I mean, not everybody's going to kind of understand, but you don't want to get caught with that sort of embarrassment or, annoyance or whatever. Other thing, to the best you can do it, my advice when you're working from home is try to get outside at least a little bit. And I was thinking about this yesterday as I went on a walk in the evening with my dog. My husband's so nice. Thank God this is happening while it's still decent in Texas, right? Because what if this was August and it's like 100 gajillion degrees and you can't go outside and you don't have a swimming pool and you just like go sit under the water hose or something? I don't know. But for right now, while it's still decent, try to get out there, 20, 30 minutes at least, go on a walk, sit on your porch, get some of that vitamin D. And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I think it makes a big deal in how you feel and staving off depression or anxiety or that cooped up feeling. If you're one of these people who like very gets inside of the house and cooped up, absolutely incorporate that outside time. I think it's super important. Maybe you could, I don't know if the orders prohibit you from going on a drive in your car. I mean, probably not. Maybe just go on a drive with the windows down and the radio up around your neighborhood or something, right? Like some sort of a break. And it can help you keep your sanity. If you're an exercise person, or maybe you're not, and this is a good time to start, obviously that's ideal. Do as I say, not as I do, because so far, since we've been off spring break, my exercises consisted of like a 20-minute little walk, and my CrossFit people, if they're watching this, are like gonna yell at me. But getting some exercise in place will help you build up your immune system, as we're all, obviously they're saying we're all gonna need or whatever. Also it'll just make you feel better, because I'm sure if you're like me, it's like very easy to go to the kitchen break room for some snacks, and we don't want to we don't want to have to deal with that on the back end. It'll make you feel worse. So work at home tips for lawyers, all my clients, just friends or whatever. I've been doing this a long time. Even if it's not for you long term, you can make the best of it and really kind of enjoy the time where you don't have to be fully ready. You don't have to commute. You can maybe be getting a lot more hours back into your day. But I would suggest treat it like real work, right? Because people are going to expect you to get your job done. My clients, they still expect me to draft their stuff and answer their questions and do my research. And if you set up those parameters, I find it easier to do that, right? Than just sort of willy-nilly. And, I'm working from home, so freedom, do all the laundry, whatever. I mean, I still do that, a little bit of that, but really not much. I do most of that on the weekends still, because I'm full on working in here, mostly all day when I'm not answering questions about Minecraft and Xbox and the dog. So, hey guys, we're all in this together. If there's anything I can do for you, or just ideas, or bounce it off, or somebody just to listen to the transition for you and your family as you go through this, y'all know how to reach me, and send me an email, send me a chat, whatever social you're seeing this on, send us a comment, and I'll be happy to be somebody who'll listen as we figure out how to navigate this corona crazy. So best of luck, everybody stay safe and healthy as you can. Thinking about y'all. Bye.